The construction and launch of the James Webb Space Telescope is one of the most spectacular illustrations of what the noosphere is capable of creating.
I'm Brian Thomas Swim with the Human Energy Project. Our series of short videos explores the way humanity is building a global organism called the noosphere. As we deepen our understanding of the noosphere, we discover a collective purpose, which will help us address all of our planetary challenges together. In today's video, we examine the process of cerebralization, the way Earth has become ever more mind-like during the modern period of humanity.
In 1687, Isaac Newton published the universal law of gravitation. His equations worked with great accuracy and were filled with surprises, including the amazing discovery by Lagrange in 1772 while analyzing the so-called three-body problem. Lagrange found 5 equilibrium points in the Earth-Sun system where the forces balance out. He proved in theory that if a body were placed precisely at one of those 5 points, it would stay right there. 2 centuries later, we have made the journey to these places. On December 25, 2021, the James Webb Space Telescope was launched in the direction of L2, the Lagrange point 94 million miles from the Sun. This will lead to one of the most comprehensive gatherings of data in the history of the world. The telescope's instruments are to interact with light from the earliest galaxies, ones that formed just after the birth of the universe. To see the relevance of the space telescope to cerebralization, we need to connect its construction to the most basic dynamic in the universe, the dual action of dispersal and contraction. The universe began with the dispersal of primordial plasma. This was followed by subsets of plasma contracting into stars and galaxies. And then within each galaxy, stars explode and disperse elements into clouds that later collapse into solar systems with planets. Then living cells emerge and spread over the Earth's surface. And 3 billion years later, subsets of these cells gather together into complex multicellular organisms. It is always the same dispersal and contraction dynamism, and humans evolved inside this dynamism. We began by dispersing over the surface of the Earth, and then we came together around common meanings. The James Webb Space Telescope is an example. Over the last 3 decades, engineers from 14 countries brought their minds together, along with atoms of beryllium, aluminum, and gold, and constructed a telescope 100 times greater than the Hubble. We need to see this entire sequence as a process of cerebralization. Think of the Sun, Earth, and the Webb telescope as a kind of body, a hyperbody. Webb is the eye. Humanity is the mind that controls the eye. Just as our individual brains send electronic messages to muscles that focus our eyeballs, so too do technicians at NASA send electronic messages to Webb's gyroscopes to position its instruments. The Sun, Earth, and Webb form a stable, mind-like process that enables the universe to become more aware of itself. To see the significance of this, reflect back to the time we lived in the Paleolithic. They had the same brain we have. They had the same desire to learn the nature of reality. Now think of the monumental acceleration the learning process has undergone through time. No individual human could imagine the James Webb Space Telescope. It was imagined and built by the noosphere. The noosphere built it to satisfy its desire to know. This desire to know is one of the primordial desires. There are others as well. We desire to heal, to educate, to love, to feed the hungry, to bring forth laughter and joy from those suffering. Just as the noosphere built the space telescope in order to know, it is also at work to satisfy each of these desires. We don't know the details of how this will take place. We are like Paleolithic humans trying to imagine the James Webb Space Telescope. Even so, we can catch glimmers of the future. We can begin to suss out the pathways. Our dedication to our creative work is grounded in our faith that we are building solutions just as elegant in their own way as the space telescope. We are ensconced in the noosphere that is bringing forth a world that will amaze.